Hello, it's Reverend Anthony and it's World Book Day. Welcome to World Book Day. I wonder how many books you've got at home on your shelf. Probably lots if you're anything like me, but I bet there's probably one that's more special than all the others. And maybe even more than that, you've got a wish list of books that you haven't yet got that you'd like to get one day. I want to tell you about a book that was on the wish list of millions of people, but they weren't able to have it because it was actually literally illegal to have it. But there was a very brave and special man who took them some of these special books. His name was Brother Andrew, and I need to take you all the way back to the 1950s, so about 70 years ago. He went on holiday to a country behind what we used to call the Iron Curtain, country in Eastern Europe that was a communist country. This country had banned the book that we're thinking about. But Brother Andrew had met some people who really wanted to get hold of a copy of this book, and he promised them that he would come back, not just with one copy, but with enough copies for everybody who wanted one. Now he knew this was going to be quite dangerous and required quite a lot of bravery, because he'd have to drive his car through the border, and the border guards would come and search his car and ask him what he was carrying. And if they found this particular book, or lots of them especially, in his car, he would probably be arrested and put into prison. Anyway, he decided he would go anyway. So he drove all the way from his home in England, and he got to the border. And as he was getting closer to the border, he was wondering what on earth he was going to do. He didn't feel he could tell a lie if they asked him what was inside his car and what was inside his suitcases. And so instead he prayed that God would make the guards blind to the books that were in his car. That's what he prayed. Anyway, he got to the border, and true to form, the guards asked him to open up the back of the car, and they asked him to open up his suitcase. And inside the suitcase, it was full of these books. But the amazing thing was this. The guards looked carefully inside the back of the car. They looked around everything. They had a good look. And then they gave him his passport back. And they said, you can carry on your way. Even though they'd looked directly into his suitcase and seen the books, they didn't seem to see them. So maybe his prayer had been answered. Well, of course it had been. You see, he hadn't had to lie. He hadn't had to tell an untruth. But he was still able to take the books. Well, he did this many times. Many times. And he was able to take literally thousands and thousands of these very precious books. I wonder if you've guessed what the book is. It's the Bible. It continues today to be the bestseller across the world. It's the book that's printed most every year, millions and millions of copies. More than Harry Potter, more than encyclopedias, more than any other book in the world. The Bible is printed and read. But there are still some countries where it's very difficult to get a hold of a copy. We're very fortunate in this country to have lots of copies. I've got a suitcase full here. We've got lots in our church. I wonder if you've got one at home. If you haven't, since it's World Book Day, perhaps you'd like to put a Bible on your list of books, on your wish list. And if you're going to do that, I suggest you start with the Good News Bible, because it's a really good way of starting. If you've already got a Bible, some people sometimes ask me, where should I start reading? Because it's quite a thick book. It's got lots of pages. I would say the best place to start reading is to start reading about Jesus' life. And one of his friends, one of the people who knew him, was Mark. And he's written a gospel called Mark's Gospel. And you could read about Jesus there. So have a really good World Book Day. Enjoy yourselves.